Welcome to the Small Ball Podcast alongside Trevor Mikulin and Christian Ennis. I'm Scott Ayers. Guys, I'm looking around the room. It is pitch black. We can't see anything. There's no cameras. Producer Andy's gone. He's in San Diego. He has decided to also take his camera equipment with him. Selfish. And so for the first time, we're doing what our listeners on Apple Music are doing. We are staring at a brick wall.
We're in a closet. Lights are off.
Yeah.
We're covered in blankets.
You know, I'm kind of pissed off. I'm pissed off that there's no visuals because I got a haircut. And I for the first time in my life, I have a beard.
Thick beard.
Yeah, and I asked the lady, I was like, yeah, can you trim it up, make it even? I think for the first time ever, I'm like, this looks like a good beard.
She locked in for
you.
And
now no one's going to see it.
You know what's crazy, dude? Is I'm pretty mad too.
Wait, why?
Because today, my mom, for Christmas, got me this like facial pack. And it has like a face mask. It had a toner. I don't know what that is. A face cleaner and like a moisturizer. And today I did that. And so I feel like I'm glowing and no one's going to be able to see.
That's ridiculous.
Well, I guess now I'm pissed because you guys both look really good.
Yeah, Scott.
It just is another day for me, but like because you guys are mad now, I'm mad.
You look good, man.
And it's all because Andy's in San Diego doing who knows what.
Well, and the crazy thing is too is this is the first episode where we have an actual live studio audience.
That's a great point. Yeah. We have quite literally someone watching this whole podcast.
Yeah.
And now no one will believe us. Because they don't see anything. I don't know what the definition of tragedy is in the dictionary, but if there was a picture, it would be our stupid faces in the Small Ball studio.
Yeah, this is embarrassing. I don't even know where to look. Where do I look? Do I look at you? Do I look at the TV?
You know what's cool though is we have the game on.
Yes.
We haven't really done this. We have the game on while we're potting.
Heat versus Celtics game. So it's like, which of the worst games could you pick? Let's pick the series where the Celtics are probably going to win every game by 20 points. Minus game 2.
I would much rather watch Pelicans Thunder right now.
Of course.
Because, well, the one that was never going to be a series, apparently. The Thunder have just been boat racing the Pelicans.
Boat race.
Because they're a legit 1 seed.
Yeah.
No one believed it.
No one believed it.
So you picked the Thunder, or you picked the Pels, didn't you?
I don't think so.
No. In the overreaction, when Kyle's overreaction was, I could see that game going 7 and the Pels winning. You liked that take that he gave. Because game 1 was close.
Yeah, game 1 was close. The other 2 games have just been not close, and it's been embarrassing.
You want to talk about embarrassing? We were going to start in the East, but we might as well start in the West really quick.
Let's catch them up to speed.
So the Pelicans are down 3-0. They're probably getting swept tonight. So you'll listen to this tomorrow, and either you're going to say Scott is a genius or Scott was off by a game. All right, this series is over. The Pelicans have looked terrible outside of game 1. Credit OKC. And also, it might be time for the Pelicans to notice, hey, maybe we should invest in a point guard. Because what they rolled with, CJ playing the 1, B.I. Zion, Trey Murphy and company, all playing the 3. They're all the size of a 3. It did not work out for the Pelicans.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly want the Pelicans to go all in to get, like, one of the Hawks guards. Like, all these rumors of, like, DeJounte and Trey, one of them potentially being moved. I would love to see either one of them on this Pelicans team. I would probably, I mean, you probably trade CJ for filler, or maybe you trade Brandon Ingram in order to make it work. But, like, I just think the fit of Trae Young or DeJounte Murray with Zion would be so much fun to watch.
Yeah, and the Pels have a lot of pieces to move. I mean, you've mentioned a few. Herb Jones is another one that's really been well this season, and he's a younger guy. I think he's 25. Trey Murphy, 24. So these are guys that are like pretty young that are attractive and have value.
They have picks.
Yeah, and they have picks.
A ton of picks.
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Even with a guy like Valanciunas, who's been really well for them in the playoffs, he's entering a contract or free agency summer. So who knows what they're going to do with him.
I would also think about trading Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially after seeing him in this series, man. It's just been he's like non-existent.
So disappointing.
And I feel like this series has really opened my eyes to Brandon Ingram because I've always liked Brandon Ingram. I thought, every time he plays the Kings, he absolutely kills us. I'm like, dude, this guy's our missing piece. But then I watch him in games like in the playoff games and he's just like not there. I'm like,
Yeah, disappointing in the in-season or the play-in. And let the record show, I've always been keep Zion over Brandon Ingram. And granted, that take also doesn't necessarily work because Zion is just always hurt. It's just disappointing because both are stars. I'm not all in on Brandon Ingram, and this playoff series has just shown another reason why he can't be a number one.
See, the Zion thing sucks because this is the first season that he's really played like most of the games. I think he played upwards of 67 games, I think, this season.
Yeah.
Christian's double checking that stat.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's.
But
nice.
now the script is going to be, again, of course, classic Zion gets hurt,
right?
Which is such a bummer because this regular season was so good for him as far as his durability goes.
And in that plan, he was phenomenal against.
He was
the
really
Lakers.
good.
He had 40 points. Obviously, got hurt. It's just sad, but I actually still really like Willie Green, and they have young pieces. The West is just tough. I think what New Orleans needs to do is the NBA expands, goes to 32 teams, and they move to the East. I think that's their best chance of being successful is going to the Eastern Conference after a league expansion.
How many games did he play?
Zion played 70 games this year.
70 games, man.
Which is awesome to see.
It's great.
Mean, when he is playing to the level that he played in the play-in, he's an MVP caliber player. We've seen him have stints like even last year where he was in that MVP talk when the Pelicans were number one in the West. It's just so interesting, and I would hate to be the GM of the Pelicans because it's like, what exactly do you do? Like we've seen signs where the Pelicans were number one in the West, and then we see them now where it's like, you could chalk it up to injury. Brandon Ingram was injured a lot this year. CJ went through some times, Ion. So it's like, how do you evaluate your team when looking at it from a full scope?
Yeah, they're going to have an interesting offseason. But there's a team that I think might have an even more interesting offseason with more questions than I think they have answers, and that is the Phoenix Suns. They're the first team we get to see eliminated from the NBA playoffs. They are the only team currently who is swept. New Orleans might join them, but Phoenix, they go all in. We're told that this three is unstoppable. We're told Bates Diop and Yuta Watanabe. We're told these signings.
Chimezie Metu.
Exactly. Nurkic. These are all guys that have now made a championship-filled roster. And what happened? They got their ass kicked by the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Shout out to the Minnesota Timberwolves. They did an amazing job this playoff series. Going into the playoffs, the Suns won 3-0 this during the regular season, and that meant nothing. The Wolves came in, took care of business, and seeing Anthony Edwards just locked in. I texted my dad last night. He never responded, but I texted him and I said, Anthony Edwards is the best shooting guard in the NBA right now. I think he took that title. He dropped 40 in a closing series game, and it's just like he had that killer mentality. It just got to a point. That dunk on Kevin Durant, he basically destroyed Kevin Durant.
Took his family away.
So, remind me, guys, when we predicted who was going to win the Suns-Wolves series, remind me of what each of you said.
I said Suns.
Scott?
Trevor, I was a prisoner of the moment, and I recognize that. I also picked the Suns.
You picked the Suns. Both of you guys did. Man, I feel like, what did I say again?
I think you picked the Timberwolves.
I picked the Timberwolves, and my reasoning was Anthony Edwards is him. I believe it, and we saw that, boys. So I'm just giving myself flowers.
Hey, Trev, shout out to you. And even more, who stood out to me is Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah.
Not only defensively, we knew he was a defensive savant, but offensively, you like that?
Great word.
Well, actually, I was going to say those who can't watch. No one can watch. Trevor had his head just absolutely cocked towards me when I said savant.
Yeah, you perked up a little bit.
You did.
That was a good word. I'm waiting for the rest of your statement.
So not only is he a savant defensively, but on offense, he just was so impressive throughout this series that just watching Minnesota play, and I've said in our group chat, I think they're right now the team to beat in the West. Based on how Denver has played, right now Minnesota is by far the scariest team in the Western Conference. I don't think it should surprise anyone if they do run the table and find themselves in the NBA Finals.
Whoa.
That's a bold take, especially coming from a Nuggets fan.
Yeah.
Who will meet the Wolves next round.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that because it's so easy to see a team that can dominate a matchup like they did and be like, man, this team could go all the way. And so I do understand and kind of agree that, the Wolves can potentially make their way to the finals. But at the same time, like, we got to take a harder look at the Phoenix Suns team.
Yeah.
In
Agreed.
reality, not a good roster.
Terrible.
You have a big three, and the two of the big three, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, are mid-range guys. They're literally taking up space of where they like to go. So it's like those puzzle pieces didn't necessarily fit very well. And then on top of it, you have your coaching was not very good. Frank Vogel, I was getting notifications that the Suns potentially looking to fire Frank Vogel. That's 3 coaches in potentially 3 years. Like, it's just not perfect weather here in Phoenix right now for the Phoenix Suns.
Here's the thing. Their roster construction is like 8 to 10 years late. Yes. 10 years ago, their roster would have worked. That's the NBA of the super teams. That's the NBA of, the Warriors and the Cavs are just picking up these stars and they're in the finals every year. Or LeBron goes to the Heat, big 3 Celtics. Like, that's when you get 3 stars and it's going to work. Nowadays, you have to build a cohesive roster around 1 to 2 superstars. That's how you win in the NBA, and you do that through the draft and through good trades. You're not going to go and pair up 3 guys who are all ball-dominant scorers. It's not going to work, and I love to see it fail.
I love it. And to that point, not only is it 1 to 2 superstars, but they have to mesh well. Yeah. And, Christian, you mentioned Booker and Durant are mid-range guys. Bradley Beal likes to take a lot of mid-range shots, too. And do you know, Vogel will get a lot of heat. He will be the fall guy in Phoenix. None of those guys played particularly well in this series. Booker started the series slow, and Beal said, hey, you start slow. I am going to actually end even slower. He fouled out in Game 4. I think he was like 2 of 10 shooting. He was horrible. And it's funny, the best signing I think Phoenix made, the best move they made in the last year and a half, was Grayson Allen. He's been actually so good for Phoenix. He got hurt. The rest of this team just stinks, though. And it's kind of beautiful to see that the super teams are just getting shot into the sun and are never returning.
Big 3 is dead.
Big 3 is dead, and another super team that once was a super team, some called it, the Lakers.
Ooh.
Yeah, can we talk Lakers Nuggets?
Yes.
Man, I thought that they were toast. I predicted on last show.
You said a sweep.
A sweep. The Lakers showed up, Game 4.
They did. And I think I did pick Nugs in 5.
You did, Scott.
Pick Nugs in 5.
You gave the Lakers one night.
Gave them one night. Foot was off the gas. Denver has trailed at half in every single game. Mm-hmm. Denver has not played particularly well. In fact, in terms of open three-point looks, the Denver Nuggets are dead last in the NBA playoffs at 25%.
Wow.
They're also last in just three-point shooting in the NBA playoffs. And that's with MPJ shooting 45% from 3. So that's where some of my concerns come for the next round. And I have to say, I think Denver will win in 5 at home tonight. But if they lose, and they go back to LA and Jamal Murray is still hurt, the panic button, I'm not saying I'm fully slamming it, but I'm starting to caress that panic button.
So hold on. If the Lakers win tonight and you guys go to game 6,
Yes.
you're not pressing the panic button until they win game 6 and
And
game
it goes
7.
back to Denver.
For game 7, you'll hit it.
It's full. I'm in full panic mode.
Yeah, you're going to be tough to be around.
I'm already hard to be around. It will be like, do not spend a waking moment next to me.
Yeah.
A lot of apology letters if it goes to game 7.
Yeah.
Not only will you be hard to be around, but going on your phone is going to be hard to just do because everyone's going to be glazing the Lakers.
Oh.
And, oh my gosh, LeBron and his greatness.
3-0 comeback.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Dude, you're
And
going to
that's
hear
the-
nonstop.
'cause even after one game, I watched SI come out with an article of like talking about the Lakers and like, oh, maybe it wasn't SI, but like they've cracked the code. And, like Darvin Ham and his boys know it. And
Darvin
like,
Ham's a genius.
and everyone's like, I would not be surprised. Lakers in 7. I'm like, it's never happened in NBA history. And so I am just begging 3-0. Never. I think it's happened like once or twice in baseball. That's it. Okay? That's the kind of history we're talking about. So that's where I'm like, it's okay.
If LeBron does it, is he the GOAT?
No.
I'm a big LeBron guy, so
Yeah.
I'd probably argue he is the GOAT, but in this series, he's the opposite of the GOAT. He's the WOAT. You know, I'm not going to give him
Worst
that
of all
respect.
time?
Yeah, thank you.
I was like, what?
After this series, all respect, love the king, but in this series, I hate him. I have to. I'm a fan,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
You love to play both sides, you dog.
yeah, you're always safe.
You are safe because then you'll go back later and his takes are always like defendable either way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My takes aren't.
it's
Yeah.
effed.
Scott, let me ask you, do
Okay.
you invest in stocks?
Not in real life stocks, no. I did put $20 in a GameStop once.
Yeah, that's I could tell that just by your takes. You could tell you don't invest in stocks.
Ooh, because he doesn't have the
He
balls
plays
to
it too
go all in.
safe. Yeah,
Yeah.
If I gamble, it's like $1 bet. It's just
We got to put him on hot seats and like force him to answer.
yeah,
We got to
pick
start
a
doing
side.
that from now on.
Yeah,
not
maybe
ready for
that'll be a new segment. Pick a side.
Pick a side. I love
true.
that. I
Yeah.
love that.
that's good for me because I like to play both sides.
And
Yeah.
this is
I'd be
part-
great in politics.
This
though.
is therapeutic for you.
yeah.
This is like, hey Scott, we're
This
growing
is
you.
Yeah, this is my time to like make a stand.
Wait, didn't you like do like poli sci?
Poli sci minor. Yeah.
Yeah.
I took a lot of politics class. That's probably why I play both sides so well.
Yeah,
Dude.
Scott, we're out here podcasting, and Scott's out here politicking.
I'm politicking.
That's good.
So, needless to say, even without Jamal Murray, you have to win one of these next few games.
If you ran for president, your slogan would be "Something's in the air."
Oh, and then whatever
Scott's
year
last
it
name is Ayers.
2032.
And then people would be like, "It's COVID."
Yeah, they would. Yeah, the conspiracy theories against me would be horrible. Oh, it would be bad. I'm like a plant or something.
Scott Ayers is anti-vaccine.
It's all in the air. So yeah, beat the Lakers tonight. Give them zero hope. That's my command. So if you're listening to this right now, you know either one, I'm probably really happy because we're going to round 2, or I am caressing a button because I'm starting to get a little nervous.
Yeah. Okay, so more than likely, we're going to be looking at a Nuggets versus Wolves round 2. And at the top of the Western bracket, we have the Thunder moving on most likely. And then it's going to be between the Clippers and Mavericks.
Oh my gosh.
Dude,
what a series.
those round 2 matchups are going to be so fun. But yeah, the Clippers Mavs.
Yeah. It's nice because a lot of the first round matchups, we have a few 2-2s, but it's kind of felt like one-sided.
Yeah.
Even though in the West, we're like, oh, it's going to be crazy upsets. And it's really kind of gone in order 1,
That's
2,
a good
3.
point. That's a good point.
But Mavs and Clippers has kind of given this like it's this little matinee taste to what's to come.
Yes.
And it's gone back and forth. After game 1, I'm like, man, the Clippers without Kawhi. And then games 2 and 3, you're like, oh, the Mavs are so much better. The Clippers won't win another game. Then game 4, Clippers blow a giant lead, come back and win, and the series is back to 2-2. It's been great. It's been awesome.
They're up what, 31?
Yeah, they were up 30. Nuts. But
Crazy.
do you know the common denominator in those games of why the Clippers lost?
Kawhi.
Kawhi played. The games that they've won, Kawhi did not play. And maybe this is just kind of just a showing of times of like, hey, Clippers, like this big three that we kind of just talked about with the Suns, like it doesn't work. There's like this weird like pecking order that they have to follow. And if one of them's missing, the team just plays better because the Clippers have a good team. Like Zubac, Norman Powell, Terrence Mann, like those guys like play their role really well. And so it's really interesting to see that like, oh, Kawhi's hurt and the games that he misses are the games that the Clippers win.
It's crazy. We forget how good each of those guys are. Like Paul George. So the Mavs storm back, take the lead, and Paul George, with like a minute and a half left, hits this absurd corner three from nearly, like when he released the shot, his like release point is behind the backboard. And who was in his face? Derrick Jones Jr. was just covering him, and he hits it. Paul George is so good. James Harden down the stretch was unstoppable.
He was.
He was making guys look like traffic cones, hitting these floaters,
He had like
and ones.
three floaters in a row. That
Yeah,
just
it's
like
absolutely
me.
killed.
It's like Scott Ayers out there, left-handed.
Ooh, both left-handed.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Is that my new comp?
Yeah, I could see that. Grow your beard out, man.
Got to grow my beard and improve my three-point shooting.
Yeah, and go to the wings, the chicken wing place that he goes to in Atlanta.
Oh,
Magic City.
that's right, Magic City.
Wings
Best,
there.
best lemon pepper wings east of the Mississippi.
Lemon Pepper Lou with him. That will never get old. Lemon Pepper Lou and James Harden.
Gosh.
But yeah, that series, you start thinking one thing and something different happens. It's that one I hope goes 7 games solely for the theatrics and that, you know, it gives us a little bit more of the first round we thought we were going to get.
I really think it will go 7.
Yeah, I do too.
I do too. Well, I'm curious since Trevor, you're kind of like the pro Maverick on this podcast.
Yeah.
How do you feel with Luka Doncic kind of dealing with a little bit of a knee injury?
He's been dealing with little injuries the whole season. There's always something going on with him, but he plays. I'm not too worried, honestly, about this little knee injury. Like I said, I think that this series will go 7, and the Thunder will be waiting for whoever comes on top. And, you know, the Thunder are good. I believe that they're true, like a solid number 1 seed. They're not like a fluke team, but they're just inexperienced. I think that the whoever faces them is going to be at an advantage because you're either going to be going up against Kyrie, NBA champion, and Luka Doncic has been deep in the playoffs, or you're going to go up against Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and James Harden. And it's going to be the Thunder, the inexperienced. So I think whoever the Thunder end up playing, I just don't see the Thunder really winning.
And again, that's not a knock on OKC.
No.
I think this OKC team is going to be so good for so long.
Yes.
It's just, we talked about on the last show, you kind of have to fail a little before you can really start to experience that success and kind of watch things blossom. So, and there's still like, it's not like there is 100% chance they won't win in that next series. I just think they will be at more of a disadvantage than your typical 1 seed.
Well, when James Harden, Russ, and Kevin Durant Thunder team, when they first made the playoffs, was that the year they went to the finals?
I thought they had been a year prior, but maybe not.
Because I know that they were pretty young in their career when they went to the finals, and then they just ran into like the greatest team ever assembled with the Miami Heat. And I think, didn't the Heat like sweep them or at least 4-1?
Yeah, let me pull that up.
Talking about those young Thunder teams.
Yeah, like the first go around of
Go around. I feel like I could be wrong on this, but I feel like they got booted by the Lakers one year.
2012, 2013, they it looks like they
Well, that was after. It was before that because the Mavs won in 2011. Oh, it was the Mavericks.
2009, 2010 they lost to the Lakers.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about.
And then 2010, 2011 they lost to the Mavs. And then the year after that they played the Heat in the finals.
Gotcha. So they were a little bit more experienced than I thought. But yeah, I mean, dude, the Thunder could easily be a team that ends up in the Western Conference Finals as well because the Mavs and the Clippers are just going to beat each other up. And they're going to be like potentially resting for like a full week before their next matchup if they win tonight. So interesting to watch. I was telling Scott this at work, and I watched the full Mavs Clippers game, and I'm Trevor. I'm trying. I'm trying, man. I am.
You're watching the wrong games.
I am watching Luka, and I just like I don't like watching him play. I think that as soon as Luka learns to just pick his moments to talk to the refs, that's when they're gonna elevate. They're gonna elevate to the finals, potentially champions. Every single play, he's tossing his hands up. He's complaining about something.
It doesn't start like that though with him. Like it gets to a point where there's a few plays in a row where it happens, and then yes, he needs to work on that. He's constant.
He's exerting so much energy, complaining.
And there's times when like, he'll do it
With Maxey.
He'll think he gets fouled. He misses a shot, and he's like walking back, arguing. Well, the four guys are already back playing defense. I would be so mad if I was his teammate.
See, that's I think the biggest role.
That's like a build-up. That's not common. It's frustration games that happens. Watch. Like you just got to watch a good game. Games 2 and 3, we didn't see a ton of that.
My favorite thing though is I loved how much he was building up Kyrie after the game before a loss, and basically was just talking about how like I'm letting him down, and he's amazing. He's been playing amazing for us all year. It just like for me, it felt like a full circle for Kyrie, just because of how much negativity he has received over the last few years. To hear that from like your superstar teammate and be like, hey, like he believes in me, and obviously he doesn't need that. Like it's Kyrie Irving, but it's just cool. Like there isn't friction or division between the two. It does feel like they actually like to play with each other, which is great. And Kyrie has been phenomenal in this series. It kind of goes back to, even if the Mavs win this series, I just don't think they have enough to win the West or to win the title. But Luka and Kyrie can carry you pretty far ways.
So you playing both sides there.
Yeah.
Why?
They don't have enough to make it to the finals, but they have enough to go deep.
They can carry
See,
you
he
far.
says both. He says both.
Wait, but I said they were going to beat OKC if they win this round, which that is correct, but I don't think they have enough to beat the Wolves.
So you're locking them into the Western Conference Finals, and they're going to lose the Western Conference Finals for sure if they make it.
I'm saying if they beat the Clippers, which on record I've picked the Clippers to win. But if I'm wrong, then I have them beating OKC and then losing to the Wolves or Nuggets.
100%.
Locked in.
All right, Scott.
Scott's
This is what we're doing. Pick a side.
Wolves and Nuggets. Winner of that is going to the NBA Finals.
Pick a side presented by the United States government and pharma.
Pickaside.gov.
Though I like talking about the West so much more than the East.
Oh gosh.
The East, talking about the East is like talking about that weird cousin that not a lot of people get along with, but it's like, yeah, we have to invite him to the wedding.
All right, let's invite him.
Let's invite him. Let's talk about the Eastern Conference.
All right, what do we want? What are we talking first?
This
is gonna be a good segment though for listeners. You guys keep listening.
Such a good segment. Celtics are up by 21, so we don't need to talk about them.
Hey, shout out to the Heat for winning one game. Good job, guys.
Heat culture, baby.
Heat culture, baby.
We're back.
Heat culture is so back. Let's talk about the Knicks and Sixers really quick. The Knicks, shout out to them. Yeah, Christian, you want to start on
Hey,
this?
hand up on this podcast.
Finals
last
pick.
week,
Yeah, finals.
I said, or was it 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks.
I
2
said Nuggets Sixers finals.
Book it.
Book it. Man, I am not looking good right now.
Wow.
It's bad.
The playoffs, there's so many things that can happen. You could be a better team, or you can get really lucky. In this case, the Knicks are the better team, and they've been lucky.
Yes.
They have gotten both sides, which is just awesome to watch. And I watched a lot of Knicks games this year because I had Julius Randle on my fantasy basketball team. And they are a fun team to watch because they are one of the few teams in the entire league that I think plays hard every single night.
Yeah.
Like, they are the perfect, like, we're blue-collared men going to work. They bring their lunch pail and they put on their dirty Wrangler jeans and they get to work. And that's what this whole Sixers-Knicks series is they're just outworking the Sixers. They're getting all the 50-50 balls, and they're just fighting, and they're tough. And the Sixers are just weak.
They're soft.
They're
Christian.
so soft. You know what? Hey, guys, I'll say it now. I don't trust the process.
Whoa.
The process,
I haven't trusted it for years.
yeah, it is attached to an anchor in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
It has sunken deep.
Wait, why not the Atlantic Ocean? Because Philly's on the Atlantic
Yeah, no,
Ocean.
that's actually a really good
Because it's
point.
cold.
Yeah, facts. It's too cold. It is in
The Atlantic Ocean or the
It's-
Pacific
it's the
Ocean?
The Pacific is known to be colder, right, Schlegel?
Yes.
Schlegel live
Thank
audience. Schlegel live audience is the Atlantic Ocean colder.
Shout. You have to shout.
Pacific.
I mean, there's a reason why we don't pay our live audience.
Yeah, there's a reason.
I mean, holy hell, Schlegel. Where's your claim to fame, man?
Your one shining moment.
He peed his pants on my bear.
did.
Arctic Ocean.
Okay. So Arctic Ocean is the coldest.
Okay, so that's where he is. He's an anchor in the Arctic.
It's an anchor in the Arctic.
Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid is essentially Titanic.
Yeah, you know what? There's a town in that on that
Yeah,
anchor.
yeah.
Yeah. Called Loserville, USA.
AKA.
Joel Embiid.
Oh, they're going to
Philly.
say Philly.
Yeah,
Oh,
Philly.
Philly fans.
They're losers.
They are
They're
losers.
losers, dude.
They are.
How many times do you go on Twitter like, well, if Joel Embiid actually had this roster, he would have won 2 championships. And it's like,
Dude, you played with Jimmy Butler. You play with prime Ben Simmons.
and Prime Ben Simmons is an all-star.
He's an all-star.
All NBA.
All
Not
defense.
just an all-star, all NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Joel Embiid's a loser, dude. And I know he scored 50 points to win a game, but you know what? You had to show up in the fourth quarter, and I think he's made like 3 shots in 40.
He's a foul merchant.
His
He's a foul merchant.
the inbound play, he catches the ball where he's in the middle of the stars, like just an easy mid-range shot, wide open. There's like 30, 40 seconds left in the game. They're down 3. He doesn't take it, goes directly into the paint to try to catch a foul, doesn't get the foul, misses the shot.
Complains.
The Sixers go down, they score. Now the Sixers are up, or the Knicks go down, score, and the Knicks are up 5. That was embarrassing. He couldn't even take a mid-range shot. That was just easy. It was easy.
Yeah, he continues to show why he's a superstar. Like, he was incredible in the regular season. I know he's not 100%, but man, like, if you're gonna play in the playoffs, you have to show up. We want you to score 50 points. Okay, like, you're healthy enough to score 50. You're healthy enough to play consistent basketball, and he's not. Like, he just isn't. And so the Sixers are gonna get knocked out again. Watching Nick Nurse lose is kind of awesome. I don't know what the Sixers are gonna do. I don't know what they're gonna do. Buddy Hield, he's on the Sixers.
He doesn't even shoot the ball anymore.
Yeah.
The guy's a shot chucker, goes to the Sixers, and he's afraid to shoot. It makes no sense. But we gotta give a shout out to Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is an elite guard. He's one of the best guards in the league.
This is a big market segment.
I know we don't normally talk about
We
it.
don't
That's
talk
why
about these guys.
we're really just chatting
It's
it
our
up.
one
We're
chance to
yapping
really
about
talk
him.
about him, but yeah, Brunson's good, man.
But you got to respect him.
Josh Hart's so good.
Dante DiVincenzo.
He's been playing really good.
I love the New York Wildcats.
Honestly, and also the Knicks, their team, what are they going to do in the offseason with Julius Randle? They're better without him because he's such a
Kevin Durant?
He's a high usage big that sucks.
Kevin
Julius
Durant?
Randle does not equal winning. Kevin Durant, maybe.
Kevin Durant. I mean, he's a player that's good enough to where you can package him for something for a bigger player because the
think
Knicks have a ton of picks too.
I think that he can put together a better package for KD. I think.
I don't know. The Knicks have a ton of first round. The Knicks have the Pistons first round pick.
What trade? What trade was that?
Wait, what year?
I don't.
This
It's for. I think
I'll
it's
look
for
it up.
next
You guys
year.
keep chatting.
It's for next year. I don't know what trade it was, but yeah, the Knicks have so many picks, and they've kind of just been hoarding picks so that they can eventually package it for this superstar. And
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. They have the 2020. Let's see, Detroit's 2024 this year, but it's a top 18 protected, so they won't get that. I don't know what that turns into for 2025. Yeah.
but still, hey, I mean,
They got
they got picks to spare. They got players that they can toss.
that
into
would be
trade.
so awesome if Julius Randle was a Sun. That would be awesome.
Wait, the Knicks have 4 first-round picks this year.
That's what I'm saying.
They have Detroit's and they have Washington's.
There's no
For the
way.
following year or
Protected
2024?
2024, but it's protected. So they won't get this, but I wonder if next year if it would become unprotected for both of those. That'd be crazy.
There's no way that the Knicks keep these picks.
No, they're
I
going
mean,
to package them.
they got to package them for something else.
Yeah. Add them to Julius Randle and go get something good.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, the Knicks, and they're going to have an interesting path because, guys, the Pacers are up 3-1 over the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee Hospital, if you will. Giannis is out. Damian Lillard is now doubtful for Tuesday. Giannis, we're not sure of. And really the best player in the series, even when Dame was healthy, was Pascal Siakam. He has been phenomenal for Indiana.
Yeah, it's been cool to see the Pacers are a fun team, especially with Tyrese Halliburton as your point guard. And then they just got a good team around them. Aaron Nesmith has been a dog.
He has.
TJ McConnell is electric off the bench.
He always has been.
Andrew Nemhard, dog. He's getting in everyone's face. He literally
Zag.
got in Bobby Portis's face. Got Bobby all wild up last game,
Got
and
his
Bobby
eyes
got
big.
ejected.
Bobby
That
did
was huge for the Pacers because a Milwaukee Bucks team without Dame, Bobby's like probably their second best scorer after Middleton, with Dame out and Giannis out. And that was huge to get Bobby ejected.
Yeah, it's a surprising outcome if you just look at it on paper, Pacers over Bucks. But then you realize some of the injury issues, and you feel for Milwaukee because since that finals run where they beat Phoenix, in a finals run that both Phoenix and Milwaukee played some injury-riddled teams, it's almost like some of that luck that they were able to have in that run has completely flipped on them in the worst possible way, where Chris Middleton was out the following year. Giannis dealt with injuries against the Heat. And now, of course, this year, both Giannis and Damian Lillard, your two best players, are hurt. And there's a chance we don't see Giannis for the entire series. I mean, that's one of the tough breaks that you feel for Milwaukee because there is a window, and maybe it wasn't huge this year because of how good Boston is, but that window gets smaller now because they just get 1 year older.
I feel like the window's closed. Oh, because if they don't move on this year, your team next year it's an older Brook Lopez. He's like 36, 37 now.
They're starting to call him Grandpa Lopez.
He's old. Chris Middleton's getting older. Like Middleton's in his 30s as well. Dame's getting older. It's like it's tough when you have a team that's like the Pacers, who, you know, rightfully named, are just running past everyone.
Yeah.
They're literally just zooming past them.
They are, and it's funny. I saw a take, and someone's like, "I hate how the Pacers are acting." Blah blah blah. Like when they're up, they're all boastful and whatever. I'm like, you know what? That tends to happen when you're losing a playoff series to a younger team. They're gonna be loud and boastful because you know what? They're having fun. They're creating a positive culture, and the guy I'm most happy for in all of this is Miles Turner. He has endured a lot in Indiana. He has dealt with a lot of trade rumors. It felt like for a while, it was like, are the Pacers going to trade Miles Turner? Like, is Miles Turner the piece that they are going to deal? It ended up being Sabonis. They bring in Halliburton. It's like, all right, how's this all going to work? And now he's on the brink of winning a playoff series in Indiana. And you know what? Even though the Knicks will be a very tough test, that's a winnable series for the Pacers. Offensively, they're far stronger. Defensively, they're far weaker. It's going to be a really fun series, I think, between the Knicks and the Pacers, if obviously those two hold. But both teams are up 3-1, and both teams have looked better than their opponent.
I think what's fun about that potential series is, one, just the history behind Knicks versus Pacers, you know, going back to like the Reggie Miller days and stuff. But it's just kind of nice, like for us, like we've never seen the Knicks and Pacers kind of be good at the same time. So It's going to be a fun just to have like that new team feel of like who's on top.
And two of the best young point guards in the NBA facing up, which will be awesome to watch Brunson and Tyrese go at it.
And that's great for the NBA because the one thing we always talk about the NBA is like trying to bring up these new and up-and-coming names that aren't in LA.
Yeah.
So the fact that Halliburton and Brunson are going to go head-to-head. And really, the last time you think of the Knicks and Pacers both being good, it was like Carmelo Anthony and Roy Hibbert.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. But let's talk about the last series in the East. The NBA TV series, which we joked about before. I think almost every single game has been on NBA TV.
Yeah.
Cavs versus Magic. Magic sucked on the road, and then the Cavs sucked on the road. It's 2-2. Feels like the Magic have all the momentum. I still like Orlando winning the series. But
You do? Yeah, well, that's the thing with these series. They're 7-game series, and they're long, and things change. So when one team goes up 2-0, it seems like all hope is lost, and the next thing you know, we're even. And so to me, I still ride with the Cavs. I think they're the better team. They're the more seasoned team, and they have the better star. I just really think that the Cavs will pull through, and Donovan will lead them.
Yeah, I mean, the Magic won their 2 games by like 30 plus both times.
True.
Which is just insane.
Respect to them too. Like shout out to that team.
The Magic,
yeah.
The role players really stepped up at home.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, this series hasn't begun yet, guys.
It's true.
Because the series doesn't begin until a road team wins. And right now it's just 0-0.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm still going to go with the Cavs as well. Staying true. I would get really nervous, though, if I'm the Cavs, if you lose the next game. Because not only is it the potential of you losing the series, but going into the offseason, it's like, Donovan Mitchell, is he going to be like, this doesn't work, I'm out? That's a huge wave effect.
And I think it's something that they are going to have to be mindful of. And I think it's something that a lot of us fans are kind of anticipating, is Mitchell is going to do that this offseason if it's an unsuccessful run yet again. So I'm the one guy who picked the Magic. It feels good to be different, and I'm going to stick with that take. And I'm going to stick with the take I had at the beginning of the year that the Magic are going to give one of the top seeds in the East a problem. I think that they're going to give Boston some issues. I think they can win at least I'm going to say this. They're going to win 2 games against Boston in the next round.
Scott, I'm liking this, Scott.
Yeah.
I'm liking this, Scott.
You like that?
Because defensively, they can be menaces.
They're insane.
Like, I mean, the first game against the Cavs, I swear they got like 6 to 8 stops in a row. They just couldn't score.
They couldn't score. my guy Gary Harris couldn't make a shot, and that was the difference in game in 3 and 4. They were still getting those same stops, but offensively, you finally had guys step up, which that I think is going to be the difference, and why Orlando's going to win this in 6.
Wow.
Scott.
You like that?
He's out here.
4-game heater.
4-game heater. Meanwhile, we're getting close to wrapping up. We switched the New Orleans game, and even if New Orleans wins this game, I have seen some of the ugliest shots. I watched Jose Alvarado get a steal, have a fast break layup. Christian was talking about Philly, so I couldn't laugh out loud. Instead of taking an easy layup, pull up 3, and it was like off the side of the back.
My boy's running around in a ponytail. I'm like, who is that? Oh, it's Alvarado. Oh.
I hate when players do that on fast break, pull up threes.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Dude, just get the easy bucket.
I'm not going to name names. Us guys here on the pod, we play every Saturday.
Oh.
And there was a play last week when we were balling with the bros, and someone got a steal and had a wide open layup pulled up from like that hash mark
to win the game.
to win.
needed
I'm
to
like,
score.
my guy, what are we doing, bro?
Just get a bucket.
Just get a bucket, Elijah Wan.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff. I'm like, dude, especially when it's our level of play. It's one thing in the NBA where it feels like those shots never go in.
Yeah.
And then you bump it down a couple levels to recreational basketball.
Bump it down like 100.
Well, here's the thing too. I like pulling on the fast break if there's a couple defenders in front of me, and they're if there's 2 guys in the paint, I feel comfortable pulling up with a 3.
Okay.
The lane was free. There was
lane
no
was
one in
free.
front.
Dude, there was no one past half court.
There was no one past half court.
He didn't even get his own rebound.
No.
That's the worst part.
He just
If
lost
you're going
it.
to miss the 3, at least get your rebound.
At least hustle, follow your shot.
Yeah.
He pulled a Nick Young.
He did. He turned around.
He turned
started running
around.
Back.
I don't think he did that, but it felt like it.
Yeah, that was an interesting round of hoops because I've never been around some guys who called fouls so much.
The refs were out.
No comment.
The rest are out.
No comment.
No comment from Trev. I like that. Well, I guess we can probably call it a show then, huh?
It's called a show.
Christian, you got anything else?
No. I just want everyone to know that my beard looks good.
Yeah, I also want. Can I say something else?
Yeah.
I just want people to know that like my skin is glowing,
Your skin looks good.
and I want them to know Dallas Mavericks will prevail.
like
Luka Doncic will be in the NBA Finals. Yes, sir.
Then I want to say something. Politician Ayers is here. I'm here to win your vote. I'm here to play both sides. Nugs in 5.
Ooh, something's in the air.
Ooh. So for Trevor Makelin, Christian Dennis, I'm Scott Ayers. We say so long for now. We will see you next week.
At the end of the day, it's just basketball.